Alright, boys and girls, we are back with another video, and as you can tell already, digging into the BMW. Okay, so previously, if you looked at some of my older videos, I had a video where the BMW was misfiring on coil pack 4. So I went in, pulled that coil pack out, replaced it. Before that, about a month and a half before that, coil pack 1 and 2 were misfiring. P301, P0301, P0302, and then P0303 or 304 is cylinder 4. And then it was giving me a P0300, which is just random misfire code for throughout the whole banks. So today what I'm going through, routine maintenance. Since the last time I told you I don't like replacing just 1 or 2 coil packs at a time, I got the other 3 coil packs, so now all 6 are going to be brand new. And I figure while I'm doing the coil packs, I might as well do the plugs while I'm in there as well, since this motor, from what my knowledge is, BMW replaced it at 38,000 miles and I'm at 140 right now. So I figured go ahead and pull it apart and go ahead and do the spark plugs while I'm at it. You'll have to replace this, and I'll show you in a second all that. I already ripped it apart. I wasn't going to make a video on it just to get it done, but I'll go ahead and do this. You're going to have this air box in the front, and I'll show you in a second, is T30 screws. And then this bar has to be removed, which is, it says 12, but I used the 13 for it, so I'm gonna assume it is some kind of like metric style, not SAE, not metric. Metric 13, pulled it right off. So, and it fits pretty damn snug in there, so I'm gonna say it's a 13, not a 12. Obviously, just like everything else you want to do when you're messing with electronic and stuff in your car, is you're gonna go into the back of your trunk and you're gonna want to disconnect the negative battery terminal. You're just gonna want to disconnect it. I wrapped it up in a cloth so it doesn't touch anything. Literally in your trunk, you just pull this up and the battery's right below it. That's just a 10 mil, normal 10 mil, so pull that out of your treasure box. Then what you're going to want to do when you get in here, on each strut tower you're going to have the 2 13mm bolts that I showed you, not 12s, 2 13s. You could get into here with a long socket and a swivel extension. I got through it perfectly fine without having to do anything with this. Next up, you're going to have your cabin air filter box right above it. You're going to have to push down and twist 180 degrees or 90 degree intervals, however you have these pins set for your cabin air filter. There's one there, one in the middle, and one on the right side. You basically swivel those up. It allows this thing to hinge up. Then you pull your cabin air filter out, and then you will have access to the four T30 bits screws that are fastened to the firewall. You're going to want to take those 4 screws out and then pull this whole bucket out. That will give you free access to this. That's after you take this bar out. Each bar, you take out these 2 bolts, those 2 bolts, and then you basically, after you swivel the bar up and around it, these 2 are just pushed in by little push clips, which is one here, one there. You pull that out. Then, like in my old video where I showed you pulling these coil packs out, they're going to be sitting in there with the wire inside of it, like this. It'll be locked in place, except all the way snug. You basically lift this up, it'll kick the connector off, put that up to the side. You can use your finger, go in here, give it a little bit of a twist, and then a pull straight back out. Now these are my 3 old ones. These are the 3 new ones that I know were new. Cylinder 1, 2, and 4. You got cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're going in front of the motor, cylinder 1, 2, 3, behind the centric motor, 4, 5, 6 is the firewall. And then you can get in here, you can see some of this, your PVC stuff, as well as you can inspect your wiring. This one's going to have an O-ring inside of it. I'm sure BMW sells the whole vacuum line for probably a pretty penny. You can also visibly inspect your valve cover gasket to see if there's any leaks. You will find out very fast. If it's not leaking on the outside, it might be leaking by the spark plug holes. When you pull the plugs out, you can inspect the plugs for oil contamination. As you can see, cylinders 4, 5, 6, and 7, or 3, 4, 5, and 6 have oil contamination. Cylinders 1 and 2 look alright. So there's definitely going to be a slight valve cover leak going on, allowing oil to touch these 4 plugs. Cylinder 1 and 2 is good, so that means it's the back half of the motor that is starting to leak, not the front half. Once you pull these plugs out, which is a 5/8, that one's normal 5/8 plug, or a socket to remove these 4 or 6. If you want more space, BMW has these little, basically like help isolate the plug in there. You can actually get your fingers in there and kind of twist it and pull this sleeve out. Don't throw these away, you are going to need these again. I'm going to basically install the plug, put this in, and then go by cylinder. And you can also inspect those as well. These things got some gunk on them. It looks like they got some kind of sealer against them. So I'm assuming when somebody did the valve cover on this thing last time, they got gasket stuff all over it, especially right around this area. You can see there's a bunch of like gasket stuff built up. So someone tried to replace it. Whether they did a good job or not, I guess they did something. They do make a metal valve cover. If you guys are looking, I can link that down below. The plastic valve covers seem to constantly have an issue from what I've been reading up on the BMW forums, so definitely whenever this gets swapped, it's going to get swapped for a metal one, not the plastic one. Yeah, you can definitely tell this is definitely a interesting seal job with a lot of RTV. But that's pretty much a quick sum of this video. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. If you are going to do the plugs and the coil packs, one coil pack is roughly about 82 bucks if you go to Advanced Auto. They also have a deal right now, or if you order online, use May deal, it's like 10% off. No, this is not a sponsored video, but give you guys a heads up on that right now. And I will also link the part number for this down below. This should work for 03 to 2012, so hopefully that works good. I'll show you the part numbers for said items that I bought. So cabin air filter, because I knew I was going to rip the old one out, and besides it's been about a year now anyways. You always want to try to replace these within about a 1 year, 2 year interval. You might open this thing up and you might just see it covered in leaves. Just so you know, replacing it helps you have better AC. Just give you a heads up on that, and fan speed. For plugs, we're going to go with our tried and true NGK spark plugs, the iridiums. That is going to be the part number for you guys. Been seeing good reviews on this. It's going to be LFR6AIX-11, or stock number 6619. And of course, you're going to need 6 of them. And then with the coils, the ignition coils, you're going to want to go with the Bosches. These are 82 bucks a piece, or 81.99. Part number is going to be 0221504470. And that's going to be a Bosch unit. Also, while you're doing it, you might as well get some little anti-seize lubricant for the plugs, spark plugs. It doesn't hurt anything, but it does help a little bit when you go to try to pull them back out. Those ones that were in there, they were a little dry, so that'll help. The torque spec on the spark plugs, you guys, torque specs. Normally I'm pretty free-handed with a lot of the bolts, but when it comes to like engine components such as like spark plugs and stuff like that, I do like to try to use recommended torque intervals from the OE specifications. We are going to go and run 20 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, so I'm actually going to whip out the old torque stick for that one. It's pretty much 18. It's 18-19 plus or minus 2. So I'm just going to run with 18, because apparently I've heard that under the lower side of that range, apparently it does try to back out on its own. So I'm not really feeling that, especially since I'm going to be taking a trip with this thing in the second week of June down to Myrtle Beach, see some family, you know, hang out, have some good beach fun, maybe hit some of the cool spots down there. I don't know, Myrtle Beach is pretty relaxed. But just want to give you guys a heads up. And yes, I got to replace some headlights. One is different than the other, and it's triggering a light on the dash for light voltage, tripping me out. I don't like dash lights. It gets on my nerves. So if you want to know high-low beams on this, is going to be an H7. That's for the high-low beams. But with that all said and done, it's actually a very easy process to get this done. Don't let it scare you because it's a BMW. It's not that hard. Like I said, getting this out is probably going to be the worst thing for you. And there's literally just 4 of those bolts right there in the firewall. It literally takes this whole bowl out. You basically have to take it and like kind of give it a fold up, and then it'll pull straight up out. It'll basically pull out in line with the hood, which is actually kind of nice because everything's coming off this thing the way it's supposed to. Which is, if you guys work on cars pretty frequently, you know half the time it doesn't work that way. Then obviously what you do, once you put all the plugs in, put all the coils in, make sure you plug the coils back up, and then you can go ahead, put your engine cover back on. You can put your bar back in, or I'd wait on the bar, put this back in, then your bar, then those, and start it up, or plug your battery back in, and you should be good to go. This was just a quick layover video for you guys. Like I said, haven't been doing much with the Subaru or the Civic. The Mustang should be next, considering that thing is giving a low voltage light when running, so that should be interesting considering the alternator is about 3 years old, so that shouldn't be happening. But yeah, I think that's gonna end it for this video, guys. Hopefully this does help you guys with doing some spark plug changes on your BMW X3, and this, like I said, this should work for anything from 2003 to 2012. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.